Hi class, in this video I'm going to be talking about the distributive property, or another way of saying this is calling it expanding brackets. So imagine this scenario here. I have, let's say, 2, and then in brackets I'm going to have 3 plus 4. Okay, now this just looks like a BEDMAS question, an order of operations question. So if I were to compute this using order of operations, I would just solve what's in the bracket first. So I'm going to get 2, and then 3 plus 4 is going to be equal to 7. So I have 2 times 7. And 2 times 7 is just going to be equal to 14. So my final answer should be 14. Now, I'm going to show you guys something called the distributive property. It states that if I had the same question here, I can multiply this 2, instead of multiplying it by just the 7, which I solved for earlier by computing 3 plus 4, I can actually multiply the 2 into each term. Notice I have 2 terms inside my brackets because terms are separated by a plus or minus sign. So I'm going to multiply 2 by 3, and I'm also going to multiply 2 by 4. And upon doing so, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get 2 times 3 now, plus 2 times 4. So let's compute this. 2 times 3 is going to be equal to 6. And 2 times 4 is going to be equal to 8. What is 6 plus 8? 14. So I ended up getting the same answer as when I simplified using BEDMAS first by adding the 3 and the 4. So then what is the purpose of using this distributive property? Let me go over an example of that now. So the purpose is, let's say instead of having 3 plus 4 now, what if I instead had x plus 5? Okay, now if I were to try to solve this with BEDMAS, order of operations first, I'm going to try to solve what's in the bracket first. So I'm going to compute x plus 5. But I can't do that because I don't know what x is. X is an unknown variable, so I can't compute that. So because I can't add x plus x and 5 together, I'm going to simplify this, if I were to simplify it, using the distributive property. So I'm going to make it more simple. I'm going to multiply the 2 by every term that I have inside that bracket. So 2 times x and 2 times 5. What I'm going to get is, once again, 2 times x plus 2 times 5. And if I simplify this, 2 times x I can write as just 2x. And 2 times 5 I'm going to write as 10. So my simplified answer is going to be 2x plus 10. So that would be the only way to simplify this question, simply because I can't reduce what I have inside the bracket. So I have to simplify using this distributive property here. Okay, now let's apply the distributive property to simplify the following expressions or polynomials. So I have 2 times x plus 2. When I apply the distributive property, I must multiply this 2 by every term inside of my bracket. Since I have 2 terms, x and 2, I'm going to compute this as 2 times x plus 2 times 2. Now 2 times x is going to be 2x, and 2 times 2 is going to be 4. So when I fully simplify this expression, I'm going to get 2x plus 4. Okay, same idea here. 3 multiplies to x and 3 multiplies to negative 5. So I'm going to have 3 times x plus 3 times negative 5. Now 3 times x is going to be 3x. 3 times negative 5 is going to be negative 15. And this would be my simplified expression here. But if I were to simplify this even more, instead of writing 3x plus negative 15, I can write this as 3x minus 15, because they would compute to be the same answers. So my final simplified expression is 3x minus 15. Okay, let's continue. Now I'm going to multiply 2 by 3x and 2 by negative 1. So I have 2 times 3x, and then I'm going to write plus 2 times negative 1. Now 2 times 3x is going to be 6x. 2 times negative 1 is going to be negative 2. And to simplify this more, we'll use our same trick that we did here. We can write this as 6x minus 2. So that's my simplified expression here. Okay, let's practice some more. 2 times 7 and 2 times negative x. So 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times negative x is going to be negative 2x. So I write 14 minus 2x. Usually I like to write x on the left-hand side, so I can reorder this and write this as negative 2x plus 14. Plus 14 because that 14 that I had here was positive to begin with. Okay, now I have a negative outside my brackets and x plus 4. So what happens is this negative here is actually an invisible negative 1 that exists. So I have an invisible negative 1 bracket x plus 4. So I'm going to apply this invisible negative 1 and multiply it by x and multiply it by 4. Upon doing so, I'm going to get negative x minus 4. Okay, now I have negative 9 times x and negative 9 times 1. So negative 9 times x is negative 9x, and negative 9 times positive 1 is going to be negative 9. Okay. Now I have negative 4 times x and negative 4 times negative 2. Negative 4 times x is, let's write it out, negative 4 times x plus negative 4 times negative 2. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. And now I have negative 4 times negative 2. Two negatives multiplied together get a positive. So I'm just going to get 8. So my final answer is negative 4x plus 8. Okay, let's keep going. Negative 3 times negative 2x and times positive 6. So negative 3 times negative 2. Two negatives multiplied together get a positive. So I'm going to get 6x. And negative 3 times positive 6 is going to be negative 18. Negative 6, sorry, so 6x minus 18. Okay, now for this one, we just have 3 terms inside of our bracket. The same rules still apply. I multiply the number on the outside by every term inside of my bracket. So now I'm going to have 3 times x plus 3 times 5y plus 3 times 3. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 5y is 15y. And 3 times 3 is 9. So my final answer is 3x plus 15y plus 9. Okay, now I have this negative 2 times every term in the bracket. So negative 2 times 2x, negative 2 times negative 8y, negative 2 times negative 5. So I have negative 2 times 2x plus negative 2 times negative 8y plus negative 2 times negative 5. Negative 2 times 2x is going to be negative 4x. Negative 2 times negative 8 is positive 16, so I have plus 16y. And then negative 2 times negative 5 is a positive number, so I'm going to get plus 10. And that's pretty much how you apply the distributive property.